Hi, good afternoon and welcome to the session where we are introducing you to some of the most exciting space tech startups coming through the recent ZA Space SANZA Earth Observation Innovation Challenge. The Space Tech Challenge is an initiative that's been running for the last 5 years to identify and foster innovation and collaboration in the space tech industry, really across Southern Africa and beyond. Led by the South African National Space Agency and ZA Space, this year we partnered with a number of organizations, Maxar Digital Globe, Reese, ANZA Capital, the South African Innovation Summit, and First National Bank, really aimed at identifying high potential startups using space technologies across Africa to tap into the fastest growing markets on the continent. In the sessions, the top applicants of the Space Tech Challenge will be presenting some of their ideas and businesses using downstream space technologies. They solve issues in agriculture, town planning, navigation, and many more. They were hand-selected by the partners of this challenge from applicants all across the continent. And we've had submissions from Rwanda, Zambia, Nigeria, Tanzania, Kenya, South Africa. And today we're going to have a quick talk from representatives from companies from South Africa, Botswana, and Nigeria, here to showcase some of the really great talent that we have and that Africa has to offer in this high-impact industry. So first, I'm going to invite Jabu Madlala from Smart Agriot to showcase some of his work, and then we'll ask him a few questions. So Jabu, over to you.
Hello, my name is Jabu Madlala. I'm the CEO of Smart Agriot. Thank you for inviting me to the Space Tech Africa pitch. And we are a farm digitization and management services company targeting smallholder farmers, which is obviously inclusive of small scale and also household farmers in South Africa and also in Africa. We are a team of young and old and multi-skilled in artificial intelligence, finance, agriculture, agronomists, economists, financiers, marketers. So we work very well together. And we believe that I think the company is it's got the right composition to deliver the services. We want to believe that everything starts with digitization. For any farm to be managed, they have to be digitized. And that is why we're focusing on this target sector using the EOD-based technologies. And also we also have a marketplace post-harvest that we also provide to the farmers. And we directly provide the services that are showing in the arrows here, and the ones where it's not showing the arrows, we provide them indirectly. So everything starts with digitization. We're going to be able to have a helicopter view of all the smallholder farms in South Africa and also in Africa. Once we have a helicopter view of the farm, we are able then to understand what is going on in that piece of land, in the fields, what crops and what type of activity and soil is happening, and be able to render the services like water management, irrigation, and manage the crop growth cycle, and be able to advise the farmers on the various requirements that happens on that piece of land, without having even to travel to the farm. So monitoring is very key, scouting as and when is needed, so that in case there's something that is happening on the farm, we're able to inform the farmers that is damage on the crops, the yield estimates are going to change, and it's going to have an impact on the invoicing later on. So across the whole life cycle, we're able to manage the growth, and by advising how much fertilizer they need to apply, the nitrogen that needs to apply, or the phosphorus, we're able to also provide that advice and measure how much savings by applying less or by applying how much saving they will have saved. and including the direct field-based weather services. And it is only this time that we believe that the 5G and the fourth industrial revolution, these farmers will have access to when the farms are fully digitized, are able to monitor and be able to understand the farms from a helicopter point of view. And also, with not forgetting the environment that is so important from a carbon point of view, that we're able to advise and tell the farmers how much savings they're generating from the savings from the carbon emission that can offset and get credits for. Our business model is farming as a service, which means that it's subscription based, similar to airtime or minutes. And farmers get all the services that I've just spoken about, paying on a month-to-month basis. Post-harvest, the platform that we have also provide the marketplace, so they have access to the markets, which is another problem of smallholder farmers, who are also able to provide the farmers with the market access using this platform here. Our future vision is to really digitize over 1 million farmers and provide also additional services like insurance and finance for this target group. And thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jabu. If I could maybe ask you, who is your target market, and how do they afford your subscription fees?
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Our target market is smallholder farmers. So we are not targeting your commercial farmers, because we believe that the core problems to market access and to technology access sits with smallholder farmers. So as I said, we make it easy and affordable for them because we offer a pay-as-you-go business model. So we are cheaper than the airtime that they pay on a monthly basis. So it's very affordable.
No,
so it's a volume-based business subscription. So the more, the better, and the more we can reduce and also, I mean, on the marketplace, obviously, there's some charges that we obviously we charge, when the transaction is happening. So, but yes, the target market, smallholder farmers that are very disadvantaged. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jabu. It's a great work, and so good luck with that. Thank you. So next we're going to turn to Boitumelo from Green Acres.
Gentlemen, my name is Boitumelo Gabankitsi, Director and Founder of the Green Aces Environmental. Green Aces Environmental is an environmental consultancy firm that aims to solve socio-environmental challenges while helping clients to achieve environmental compliance and protecting the natural environment. We've discovered that a lot of processes in the EIA process and the environmental field are manual and require site visits, which has an implication on time and available resources. We are proposing to automate these various processes to reduce time using geospatial intelligence. Taking an example of a client that wishes to develop a mine, the client has to acquire the application form from the Department of Environmental Affairs and fill it out manually. We are proposing a system where the client can log on to our website, input the project coordinates and project information. The system would then generate a location map from the coordinates, highlight the zoning of the area they are proposing, and then source out the available services around the area, calculate the distance between the site and the nearest environmentally sensitive areas. Moving on to the EIA process, which involves a number of specialist studies, we are also aiming to reduce the time taken in the field by engaging geospatial intelligence to the various specialist studies. Our services the proposed Proposed services include environmental impact assessments, environmental monitoring, specialist studies, environmental audits, automated licensing and application, decision support system to our various clients and the federal government. Our target market are both private and public clients that are coming from different fields, including mining, manufacturing, tourism, and conservation. We are also targeting researchers and policymakers, the federal government. Various freelancers and environmental consultants can also make use of our services. Our mission is to become one of the most respectable environmental consultancy firms across the world, which is valued for its expertise, efficiency, and high-quality services. We are currently operating locally, but we believe we can take the company globally using the automated systems. Thank you for your time. You can catch us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Thank you for listening.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Boitumelo. So you've mentioned that you have a number of different clients in different sectors. How do you manage to change your fees or differentiate between fees for these different types of clients, whether it's government or private sector?
Generally, because the EIA process almost takes the same amount of time, it's time that we'll be selling. So the fees will differ from commercial clients, and also small businesses will charge smaller fees for small businesses and higher fees depending on the amount of specialist studies. If you've got more specialist studies, it means your fees will be a bit higher than if there are few.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Well, it's really exciting and really important work. So thank you for sharing the time, and definitely good luck with Green Acres. So I'm going to move on now to Joash from Hydro Blue.
Good day. My name is Joash and I'm one of 2 directors at the Hydro Blue company. Hydro Blue is a predictive AI system that improves the success rates of borehole drilling in physically vulnerable regions. This directly increases access to sanitary water supply for both human consumption and agriculture. Prof. Randir Watlal and I founded the company to address the global water crisis by using data science, artificial intelligence, and geographic information systems. In South Africa, over 70% of the population are dependent on groundwater, with the average borehole project costing around 100,000 rand. The success of a project is not guaranteed, and clients are required to pay even if the borehole is completely dry. To date, we have identified over 12,000 non-functional boreholes, and this excludes the number of dry boreholes drilled. At a conservative accuracy rate of 25%, this results in a total loss in investment of 1 billion rand and leaves millions of people without sanitary water. We believe that machine learning and spatial data science methods could be applied to improve accuracy rates. The model developed is based on hydrogeological indicators that are generally considered when identifying drill sites. These indicators include soil type, vegetation, rainfall patterns, the water table, and so on. The system automates a deep learning study that exposes the different environmental indicators in the region, their value, and their influence to the desired outcome. In total, 20 environmental datasets have been spatially joined by region to both functional and non-functional borehole data. Machine learning algorithms could then be applied to identify what indicators lead to what outcome. To develop the model, data in the form of shapefiles were collected from both government departments and API connections. The data collected was then generalized, integrated, and cleaned to form a single database for machine learning. Environmental data was considered to be the input features in the process, while both functional and non-functional borehole sites were considered the output. The machine learning classification algorithms were then applied to the dataset to identify what input features correlate with successful borehole sites. In total, 7 algorithms were applied and were used to train the model, including popular ones such as artificial neural networks, progression trees, Bayes belief, and nearest neighbors. The data was then randomly split into a training set, testing set, and a validation set to create the model. Early testing has indicated accuracy rates between 85 to 90%. In the SADC region, approximately 35,000 boreholes are drilled each year, making this the total addressable market size. As a result, the system will be licensed through a pay-as-you-use model where 10% of the total cost will be charged for every successful prediction made. With just a 2% market penetration at an accuracy rate of 85%, clients will collectively save about 60 million rand each year. This translates to an average income of 6 million rand per annum to the company for just 2% of the SADC market. To easily scale, the system was developed using a serverless paradigm, meaning that increased subscribers do not significantly increase expenses. The project has been internally tested with field testing set to begin in December. The project is financially supported through the Technology Innovation Agency and is in advanced talks with both Umgeni Water and the WRC. The company is also a beneficiary of the Amazon Activate program and has been a finalist in the AI Expo and the Innovation Summit. We are looking for 2.5 million rand to upgrade the system to identify agricultural uses based on water quality. We are also looking for global data sets and access to market. Thank you.
Great stuff, Josh. So what I'd like to understand is, from a technical point of view, how are you using satellite data to enhance the success of successfully finding boreholes?
Okay, great. So basically what we've done is, as you know, there are measurements that are associated to the spatial data sets, which are shapefiles. And what we've done is we've looked at environmental characteristics over regions, their value in that area. And what we've done is we've applied machine learning to understand, for example, the environmental conditions and what values of those environmental conditions lead to sustainable boreholes. So in essence, we had a good and a bad set. So for example, we could have certain environmental characteristics that lead to sustainable boreholes, maybe in the Cape Town region, and the same environmental characteristics could be present in another region of South Africa. And knowing those environmental characteristics, we can then create a scientific probability of borehole or groundwater being present for either human consumption or agriculture.
Great, wonderful, thank you. It's a great example of technology using to address some of our fundamental problems. So congratulations on your success so far, and good luck for the future. I'd like to move now on to Tsolelo from Ibiri.
My friend and I were invited to a wedding at one of the biggest townships in South Africa. We left the city on time, relying on conventional navigation and maps. This was something that we couldn't miss. My friend was the best man. To cut the story short, when we entered Soweto, we realized we were lost. The popular navigation led us to the wrong house, and we had to rely on word of mouth. That's how Abir Innovations was formed. Good day, my name is Tsolapit Mashita, the co-founder of Abir Innovations, based in Mokopane, Limpopo Province, with a degree in Bachelor of Sciences. This slide depicts the majority of the metropolitan areas in Africa. Although most of them are separated by freeways, the differences are massive, like the lack of navigability and digital identity, which affect the mobility of essential services. As a result, we address the problem of poor digital integration in peri-urban and rural settlements. We do this by providing digital maps in areas that Google Maps cannot reach, solving the last mile. For cheaper and quicker mapping process, we use drones as well as mapping AI technology, which convert images into maps. Currently, our target markets include courier companies and local businesses, giving them digital identity. An example of this is a company called Timbuktu, which we are working with on a long-term partnership to service this market. Drones are used to map these places. Images are then converted into digital maps. Census numbers on each household are plugged on the system, creating the most reliable platform that can be used even in remote villages. Although our business model charges service fee to a target market, our maps are freely available on Play Store in the form of an app called Abir. Our long-term plan is to provide digital identity to unmapped places in Africa, to identify and monitor climate change and nature conservation, to reduce poverty in disadvantaged communities, and promote healthcare and access to essential services. We are a highly driven team with a combined experience of 23 years, ranging from business to software development, with achievements such as the nominee of the best incubated solution during the MTN App of the Year 2019, winners of the SIZE Post Up Pitch competition, which was held in Finland in 2019, and one of the National Shivers Venture Competition 2020 finalists. Also to include on achievement, we have done our pilot project on a village called Hamachikiri outside Mokopane, which we have mapped a sample and we have plugged several local businesses, and we were working with our partner, which is Timbuktu, to see how our system will behave based on the demand of the community. And the ambulance was able to come and fetch a critically ill patient at their doorstep, and that was a remarkably success, because we realized that a lot of people can be fetched on their doorsteps using our platform, which is something of a critical need in remote places. Abiri Innovations is the only link between urban and rural settlements, providing digital integration needed to unlock township and rural economy. Thank you very much.
Abiri, thank you so much for sharing that with us. What I'd like to understand is, how are you able to integrate remote sensing data from satellites with information from drones? How do you marry these technologies together?
So we have a very experienced team that before we even moved into using the drones, they had already managed to work with Google Maps initially to understand how can we match the two and provide a seamless integration when there's a flow of service. And the team was able to, as soon as we converted those images that we mapped with drones, they were able to plug in our API to that one of Google that enabled the flow of service from the town that flowed into townships. And hence we also went to a village where we could map a sample of a village in order to understand and to see if this can really provide the seamless service, the flow of service that is needed. And based on that sample, we were able to also plug in local businesses, and we used their services. So users could just type, let's say for example, someone wants to buy construction material and they don't have to go to town to buy them. So a local person or user can just type cement, and on that cement, a service provider within the community who's providing cement can be able to be located on the map, and they can be able to see where they can fetch or where they can be able to get that service.
Great, wonderful. Well, it's really great work that you're doing, and definitely good luck with that. So I'm going to move on now to Stefan from Upfarm.
Hello, my name is Stefan Erasmus. I'm part of Upfarm, and we're a team that entered the Space Tech Challenge, and we're trying to revolutionize food production. And I'm going to show you a bit like what the problem is we're trying to solve and how we want to solve it. Our team consists of 3 engineers and a business developer, and we're passionate about trying to solve the challenges of food production in Africa. We want to do this by trying to optimize land use, provide access to affordable agri-tech, and help farmers increase their yields. We want to do this through 3 branches: is Grow Brick, Grow Watch, and Grow Track. And yeah, so the problem is that the earth is getting drier and climate change is having an effect on how we produce food. Traditional farming systems are going to be less effective in the future, with things like water shortages and like just the change of the weather, right? So we've identified 3 problems. Farmers are not equipped for what lies ahead with climate change, and they do not know what farming decisions to make. There is, secondly, not a large amount of micro-farming initiatives for smaller farmers trying to produce food on a very small land area. And then 3 is farming systems use a lot of water, especially conventional farming methods. So we also want to explore trying to see how we can tackle these 3 problems. Our solution is framed around the following requirements, or not principles, but something similar. So we want to trying to see how small amount of land we can use and get the most out of that. We want to try and increase the yield or harvest frequency. So instead of once a year harvest, maybe 3 or 4 times. Trying to incorporate multidisciplinary tech from hardware and software, as well as low and high tech solutions. We want to reduce the risk of crop failure. We want to reduce the costs of these technologies, reduce water usage of these technologies, or just agriculture in general, and then provide a monitoring solution with not a lot of human intervention. GrowBrick is one of the avenues we're trying to do it, and this is essentially a hydroponic system where we have a traditional hydroponics with pumps, but we're also investigating a NASA-backed grow technology. So they developed this tech for the moon and Mars, or on the ISS, to grow food, and we're trying to leverage that technology and use that in a system. Next is GrowWatch, which is an integrated IoT solution with a web platform to help farmers monitor their crops, but also help them grow better food through recipes and plant profiles. GrowTrack would help farmers estimate what the effects of climate change would be on their farms and how they can move to a seasonless model of farming. Our target market is any kind of farmer in Africa or the world who wants to prevent their business from struggling due to climate change. And on the other side, farmers who want to grow niche food products, or want to grow their own food, or want to supply their restaurant, or just any kind of small scale farmer. Our market size is quite big, so Africa in particular has a very big farming community, and a lot of people who want to pursue farming that not necessarily has the tools or the space for it. Our rollout plan is to develop the products, trying to find product partnerships and build the infrastructure for it. And then we want to try and see how we can push that product out and find ways to work together with government agencies or NGOs to see if there's a feasible way to kind of push these products out to clients. The other side would be a service on providing greenhouses or greeneries and helping farmers to see what the changes would be on their farms with regards to climate change and droughts. So we're really passionate about helping Africa succeed with food production. It is a major issue that we feel it's possible to solve, especially with climate change being on the horizon, and also just help people to grow their own food. I think if we can do just that, that would be such a big help for so many people out there. So if you have any questions, you can email me or my team. We'll be happy to respond and answer some questions. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Stefan. So what I'd like to understand for now is just how close are you to commercializing these 3 different areas of GrowBrick, GrowWatch, and GrowTrack?
Right. So GrowBrick has kind of reached there's been a lot of development from NASA on the product itself. So that one just needs some testing in real situations, to compare it to other hydroponic systems. GrowWatch is the one that we're actually much closer to bringing to the market, and we're kind of seeing from the past 2 weeks. I mean, I made that video a few weeks ago, and things have already developed far beyond that. So GrowWatch seems to be the one that is the one that we can actually get the most investment funds to develop, and has the highest rate of success. And we're furthest along with that. So we have a IoT partnership and a hardware partnership for the hydroponic systems that's in the market, and off-the-shelf components that people can do. So what we're aiming for, the first big lever to pull, is the software, and to kind of marry the software and bring the IoT and the hardware into it, and really go down into the precision farming route of things.
Wonderful, thank you. Well, it's an exciting journey that you're going to be on, challenging and exciting. So thank you very much, and good luck. And we'll move now to Rayshan from Sturtium.
Good day to the staff and panelists of the African Space Tech Challenge. My name is Rishan Ramlal. I'm one of the directors and co-founders of Stoshium, and today I'll be presenting our pitch for the utilization of ground data, satellite data, and skills data for identification and solving of sustainability challenges. We're a startup company aimed at using science and engineering to provide solutions that integrate environmental needs, technology, and social needs. We both have qualifications, expertise, and experience which are well aligned to this purpose. Data on environmental, water resources, infrastructure, and other issues which are reported by citizens are not collected and utilized as efficiently as they could be. In addition, the skills, products, and services available from startups, businesses, and nonprofits are scattered and not as well known as they could be and applied as well as they could be. And this results in a number of issues which are seen. Our solution is a technology and people integrated approach. It involves a informatics system that harnesses ground data supplied by citizens combined with Earth observation data and analytics to more easily identify issues, monitor them, and select appropriate solutions to be employed. The informatics system application aspect was developed as a tool which allows citizens to contribute to solutions to problem solving through regular reporting of issues which they encounter, and this provides live ground data to supplement the satellite data, and the approach utilizes Google Fire-based cloud storage and retrieval technology. SustainAttack is a platform for businesses, social enterprises, investors, and public institutions involved with sustainability challenges. It lists solutions, products, location, and analytics, as well as a map of tags, which allows you to determine which products and services are available in your area, as can be seen in this image. The Earth observation data will be obtained from the NASA Earth observation database, which will include MODIS, Terra, and Landsat, or different resolutions depending on the purpose, as well as data on soils, geochemistry, water resources, and land use topography extracted from the Earth observation data. The problem areas will be identified through informatics system reports, web scraping, news, and social media. Issues will be categorized and mapped. Satellite imagery will then be obtained for the relevant coordinates. And using a combined data approach from the satellite imagery and the mobile app, problem areas will be identified where the social, technological, and economic solutions can be implemented. It will also allow for identification of relationships between issues and variables in the area. And ultimately, it could allow governments, institutions, and businesses to identify where they can better focus their efforts. This will employ cloud storage and retrieval, GIS remote sensing, probability analysis, as well as the development and training of machine learning models to assist with the identification of problem areas and match-make solutions. This system has a diverse target market ranging from anybody, which includes anybody involved in spatial planning and infrastructure, to insurance companies and environmental companies. The platform, which we believe is highly useful because of the device applicability of the data, will be free to use to anybody. However, we will generate advertising revenue from complementary industries, and there'll be fees for accessing reports. For the future of Stoshium, we wish to become an established built environment and technology company, contribute towards improving sustainability, and to ultimately achieve growth and create employment, as well as expand our technologies and solutions internationally. Thank you.
Rashan, thank you so much. What I'd like to understand is how far are you in building this actual platform? Is it live? Like, when will it go live? Can you take me through some of that? Rashan, you are muted. If you
sorry, I just muted. Yeah, thank you. I'm pretty far. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're quite far into it. The informatics system is available on the App Store for download. The SustainAttack site is live, and we're regularly gaining more people on it. The map is there. We're just currently updating that based on the different tags that we're using. And so the machine learning model, as soon as we're just going to be starting getting that done. And we have quite a bit of experience in probability and analytics, so it's definitely quite doable in the next couple months or so.
Okay, wonderful, Rashan. Thank you so much. It's great work, and it's going to be an exciting product in future. Thank you so much. And now we'll move lastly to Nduka from Field Dev.
Hi, my name is Nduka. I'm a tomato farmer and software developer here in Nigeria. Over the last few months, me and my team built a web-based GIS tool that helps smallholder farmers in cooperatives divide up their land automatically without needing to hire an external land survey company. Now, our tool reduces the burdensome land survey costs for smallholder farmers, and it promotes very strong farmland identity. And this helps de-risk agriculture investment, insurance, and funding. Basically, our tool also drives down the cost per hectare for smallholder farmers in Nigeria. So we identified a problem in the market, which is that for smallholder farmers typically have very small land holdings that are very spread out. And this makes it very difficult to get funding and insurance. Specifically, smallholder farmers who are applying to the central bank are required to form cooperatives and farm on a single piece of land. And the second requirement is that each farmer in that cooperative needs to provide coordinates for their land holding in that land expanse. Now they can go out and hire a company that will go and scout each plot, which tends to be very expensive. And because the amount of money each farmer gets is directly related to the accuracy of their boundaries, it is very important that they get this right and then there are no boundary overlaps. So we created a tool to solve this problem. Basically, our tool is a low-cost web-based tool that automatically divides up a single expanse of land into small adjacent farm plots without any need for expensive GPS equipment. It reports back very very precise, high-resolution plot boundary coordinates. It is available globally, and then it scales regardless of the size of the overall land expanse. Farmers can get access to funding faster because our tool works virtually instantly, and because our tool is only about a tenth of the cost, farmer input costs are severely reduced. The farmers no longer have to worry about boundary overlap disputes. So our target customers are institutional lenders and state governments and international development partners who invest in agriculture on a macro level and who have access to a lot of farmer pools. Our target end users for this initial rollout are farmer groups who are applying to the Central Bank of Nigeria Agro Cooperative Scheme. Basically, a summary of the scheme is it is designed to fund 4 million hectares of farms and 8 million farmers. For this third quarter of this year, they intend to fund 50,000 hectares and 25,000 farmers. Our tool can also be applied to real estate companies and traditional land survey companies who want to make their process a little bit more efficient. Currently, our tool is deployed in the field and is being successfully used by cooperatives. Our pricing is priced at $10 flat per hectare for each shapefile that is uploaded for subdivision. And our competitive advantage is that we're 10 times cheaper than traditional land survey, and we're faster, and our tool does not require any presence on the field by a survey company. You can either use our tool directly from a website, or you can go through a backend API. This is what we've accomplished since May 2020 up until date. We have currently signed a contract for 2,000 hectares of farmland. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Nduka, thank you so much for that. So can I just ask, those are some really impressive price points that you have there. How do you continue to make money, and how do you get people to come back to the platform in future so it's not just a once-off transaction?
Okay, in terms of making money, our cost our cost ratios are very small. So the cost of running a service is less than $1. And in terms of having people come back all the time, or having recurring customers, our costs are basically cheaper than everybody else. So we're assuming that that is why they keep coming back.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Well, it's really great work, and thank you for sharing that with us. So this brings us to the end of the demonstration of these different startups from across Africa. As mentioned, there are many more that we'd engaged with, but we really wanted to highlight some of the exciting opportunities that we see ahead of us in this technology startup ecosystem around Earth observation that we're seeing emerging from across the continent. These startups that you heard from today and many more that we're working with will be going through a rigorous business development incubation process over the next several months as we move towards a final pitching den and hopefully some really successful, amazing stories coming out from early part of next year. So thank you for joining us, and I wish you all a safe and wonderful week further.